各位觀眾大家好，歡迎收睇26分鐘見證實錄。疫情期間有唔少人會選擇去到戶外進行活動。不過喺郊外環境之中出現更多嘅人類活動嘅時候同時亦都係意味住公眾有機會留低更多嘅垃圾喺大自然之中啦。但係如果呢啲垃圾並冇合適咁棄置，其中一批就好大機會成為海洋垃圾啦。而有一班嘅潛水員就自發組成清潔海岸垃圾團隊，清潔卑詩省內嘅海洋以及湖。咁我哋今集就跟隨咗呢一批嘅潛水員，了解一下省內嘅海洋以及湖水嘅垃圾污染情況。
現代人嘅生活習慣離不開會使用大量嘅即棄產品。雖然呢啲產品為生活帶嚟方便，但係如果處理不當，甚至俾人惡意丟棄到大自然嘅話，就會對環境造成莫大嘅影響。
It's not nobody's trash, it's all of our trash because it's all of our waters and it's all of our trails. So even if you just pick up one piece of trash, that's one piece of trash that's not going to be there as a result of you. So there's so many ways that we can all help to pitch in and make this a cleaner and safer place for our wild spaces to flourish.
被丟棄到郊野徑或者喺陸地上嘅垃圾都相對容易去執拾同埋清理，但係如果垃圾不幸被棄置到水中，清理嘅難度就自然不同。
Yeah, it is never ending, but you know what? We have a skill set. We know how to scuba dive, and we're able to go do something where a lot of other people can't. So we contribute to our environment in the way that we can.
如果海洋垃圾嘅問題繼續惡化落去，最終會為人類甚至乎整個地球帶嚟啲乜嘢影響呢？
Within the next 5 years, if we don't change the status quo, for every 3 pounds of fish in the ocean, there will be 1 pound of plastic. And by 2050, for every pound of fish in the ocean, there'll be 1 pound of plastic. So this is really a clarion call to dramatically reduce our use of plastic.
喺呢一日嘅朝早，潛水員 Henry 同埋佢嘅潛水拍檔就已經聚集喺 Squamish Brown 湖嘅停車場入邊，商討今日嘅潛水計劃，準備潛到湖入邊執拾湖底嘅垃圾。Henry 表示喺每一次嘅清潔行動當中，仲未潛到水入邊，都唔會知道該水域嘅情況。
Sometimes people ask me if I get frustrated when I see all this new trash. But for me, it's kind of like it's almost like a mental game to see. Oh, I wonder what I'm going to see today, right? So I don't know what I'm going to find. I have no idea. Like, is there a lot of beer cans? Is there a lot of boat paddles?
其實 Henry 早喺2013年開始就同一班潛水員朋友自發清潔卑詩省內唔同海岸同埋湖泊，而今次已經係佢哋第162次嘅潛水清潔行動。每一次嘅行動，佢哋所需要背負嘅潛水器具接近100磅。
On my back, I have a scuba tank, and this is my breathing air that I have in here.
而同一般休閒類潛水員唔同，佢哋亦都要帶同一啲工具協助水入邊嘅清潔工作。
This thing you see here is called a lift bag. If I have a very, very heavy item that I can't physically hang on to, then what I do is I attach this to the item, and I put some air into it so it can just lift it like a balloon out of the water. To collect the trash, we have these donated onion bags from the grocery store, and we'll collect trash in this. This is really nice because they're free, and of course, we can put our trash in here, and then when we lift it out of the water just comes out. So very little resistance in the water, so we really like these.
連同 Henry 呢一日總共有5名潛水員參與清潔行動，佢哋整理好裝備之後，就開始潛到湖入邊執拾垃圾。
We can find trash anywhere from just a few meters all the way down to 15, 16, 20 meters. Like today, I was around 24 meters. So yeah, it's a little bit deep, right? And we'll just find trash everywhere. Obviously, we see lots of beer cans and maybe sunglasses, things that fall into the water accidentally. Nobody really intends to lose a very expensive cell phone.
除咗啤酒罐等常見垃圾之外， Henry 亦都曾經喺水底見過唔少奇怪嘅物品。
Probably the most bizarre things really are things that really should not have been in the water in the first place. Things like park benches. So some kid had to remove the bench from the park, carry it across the park, and then throw it into the water. So just really sort of weird things.
而由於要減少對水底生態環境嘅影響 ，Henry 同埋其他潛水員唔會使用其他器具去執拾垃圾，只係能夠親手一件一件咁樣執起嚟。
So when we remove trash, because often the lakes are fragile environment, there's not really a way for big heavy equipment to scoop the garbage out. So when we go down, we have to look for the garbage, one beer can, one beer bottle, one pair of sunglasses. We do it one thing at a time. So so it depends. In some places, some lakes, the garbage is very, very concentrated. I can just go down to the bottom and lay in one spot and not move and fill all my bags. And then other ones, like this lake here, I have to swim a long distance in order to pick up one beer can, swim for another minute, 2-3 minutes, and then get the next beer can. So it can take a long time for me to gather even just one bag of trash.
Yeah, so I do participate in cleanups with this group, and I am an artist as well, so I'm sort of in both worlds.
Amy Lebenberg 係 Squamish 藝術議會嘅執行總監，本身亦都係潛水員嘅佢，過去亦都有參與過潛水清潔活動。而喺2020年底，佢就同 Henry 促成咗唔同地區嘅藝術議會同呢批潛水員合作，透過唔同方式增加公眾對減少海洋污染嘅意識。因此，佢哋就開展咗一個名為 Diving In 清理湖泊及海洋的藝術嘅項目。因此，每一次喺 Henry 同一眾潛水員進行潛水清潔行動嘅同時 ，Amy 亦都會開放俾公眾參與，成為岸上清潔義工，執拾岸邊嘅垃圾。
So at Brum Lake today, we are seeing not too much macro garbage, not too many big pieces, but lots of microplastics and lots of tiny pieces of garbage that are often overlooked.
微型垃圾除咗難以被人發現之外，隨住刮風落雨等天氣嘅轉變，更有機會將呢啲微型垃圾帶到湖泊或者海洋入邊，從而變成水污染。Amy 表示，咁樣嘅岸邊清潔行動，同時亦都令義工團隊有一個反思嘅機會。
It's a really interesting way to see these tiny little pieces of everyday trash too and go, oh, that's something that I use. Have I dropped that or have I thrown that on the ground unthinking? Or, so it's a way for all the cleanup crew to be self-reflective as well.
而喺大概45分鐘之後 ，Henry 同埋其他潛水員都陸續帶住裝滿垃圾嘅洋葱袋上岸。Henry 表示，因為喺舊年嘅夏天已經喺呢一個湖進行咗一次清潔行動，而今日再次落水嘅時候，發現情況就有所改善。
Well, every lake is a little bit different. Some lakes were getting better and better, and honestly, I feel really good because each year that we go back, there's just a little bit less trash each time.
所有垃圾被帶返上岸之後，就會有義工嚟進行整理、分類同埋點算。呢一日 Henry 嘅團隊所執起嘅垃圾就包括有62個鋁罐、一批船槳、一啲運動用品同埋個人雜物，總共57磅垃圾。相比起之前喺其他水域嘅清潔行動 ，Henry 表示今次撈起嘅垃圾數量只算係小兒科。喺上年9月 ，Henry 喺北溫 Lonsdale 碼頭附近嘅水域進行潛水清潔行動嘅時候，一次過打撈到34張餐廳藤椅、幾部購物車同埋其他大型嘅垃圾。呢一次行動就一共撈起咗1362磅垃圾。
This area here, because there's a couple of restaurants, and formerly we're actually on the site of a restaurant that doesn't exist anymore. The chairs from those restaurants have ended up in the water over time.
而喺舊年 ，Henry 嘅團隊就總共完成咗57次潛水清潔行動，總共收集咗超過11000磅垃圾。收集咗呢個龐大數量嘅垃圾 ，Henry 又會點樣處理佢哋呢
？Anything that can be recycled, we recycle. So, for example, if we bring out scrap metal or plastic, everything will get recycled the way it's supposed to.
雖然由呢一日撈起嚟嘅垃圾可以反映出，相比起上一次嘅清潔行動 ，Brum 湖底下嘅垃圾污染情況的確有所改善。不過 Henry 表示，並唔係每一個湖或者水域都有相同嘅結果。
Other lakes, because they're very beautiful lakes, very popular, there's a lot of camping, a lot of picnicking. Those are a little bit more sort of troublesome for us because we'll find that even though we removed whatever number of kilograms of trash, the next year it's new again and it's the same amount of trash. So every year we have to keep getting more and more. So those lakes are a little more challenging for us for sure.
而同樣身為潛水員嘅 Squamish 藝術議會執行總監 Amy Levenberg 就表示，每一次潛水嘅時候，見到水底嘅景象都感到非常難過。
So they are kind of a canary in this whole pollution mine in our waters. They're showing us here on the surface what's happening down there. That's always really, really tragic because it doesn't have to be like that. We don't have to live this way. We can have pristine wild places, and it can be done so easily. All we have to do is pack out our trash or just to have really good systems and options for how we handle our trash.
而 Henry 同 Amy 都知道，如果唔改變公眾對處理垃圾嘅態度，即使進行再多嘅潛水清潔行動，都係無補於事。所以 Henry 就同 Amy 提出一個特別嘅想法，引起公眾對水底垃圾污染嘅關注。
We're always trying to find different ways to do more education and public awareness to see if we can let more people know there's so much trash in our environment, and to be able to take some of the trash that we take out and turn it into the art, and then use that to educate people. We just thought it was a fun thing to do.
而 Amy 就開始聯絡唔同地區嘅藝術創作者，邀請各個藝術家去使用一眾潛水員從水底撈起嚟嘅垃圾，製作藝術品。
So we have 7 different communities participating in the project, and each community has at least one artist. At this point, I think we have around 15 artists. So we've been collecting trash during our cleanup dives, and so we've got collections that we're going to give to each artist, and there's going to be some pretty interesting materials. We've got cans, we've got fishing lures, we've got sunglasses, golf balls. There's quite a variety, so it's not your typical art material, that's for sure.
咁究竟參與計劃嘅本地藝術家又會點樣化腐朽為神奇，去將水底垃圾變成藝術品呢？下一節翻嚟我哋再睇。歡迎翻嚟節目時間。有最新嘅數據就指出啦，目前海洋之內有大約52,500億件嘅塑膠垃圾。咁究竟咁大量嘅垃圾會為海洋生態以及環境帶嚟啲乜嘢嘅傷害呢？
Well, plastic is our very focus attention because of the incredible damage it does in the ocean. It never biodegrades.
Judith Ng 係前美國環保局官員，喺退任之後就聯同當地嘅大學舉辦咗一個全美嘅塑膠垃圾關注項目。佢表示喺眾多海洋垃圾之中，塑膠對於自然環境而言係最難處理嘅，而每年就有1500萬噸嘅塑膠垃圾被棄置到海入邊。
And the unique thing about plastic, as opposed to other material, is when it's in the ocean, it's exposed to sunlight, so it gets brittle. And then the wave action is almost like a paper cutter. And so one plastic bottle or one plastic bag ultimately becomes hundreds and sometimes thousands of pieces of smaller plastic. If it's 5 millimeters or less, it's known as a microplastic.
不過 Judith 表示，唔同大小嘅塑膠垃圾都會對生態造成嚴重破壞，其中一個最大嘅影響就係海洋生物會唔將塑膠垃圾當作食物。
There are unfortunately numerous examples of whales being found dead with large amounts of plastic in their guts. There's an infamous video of a marine biologist working to remove a plastic straw from the nostril of a sea turtle. I highly recommend that people watch that and think about it next time you grab a plastic straw, which unless you've got some kind of physical disability in your mouth or your jaw, you typically don't really need a plastic straw because we have lips and we're perfectly capable of taking a drink of coffee or soda without a straw.
Judith 補充，目前已經有663個物種受到塑膠污染，而人類亦都未能夠置身事外。由於有唔少食用魚都誤食咗微型塑膠，而人類進食咗受污染嘅魚類之後，到頭嚟就成為咗塑膠污染嘅受害者之一。
I don't want pieces of microplastics in my body. And it has been documented that you and I either breathe in or swallow this equivalent size of one credit card worth of plastic every single week. For the first time, researchers in Italy earlier this year documented the presence of microplastics in the human placenta on both the fetal side and the maternal side.
至於目前海洋入邊有咁多嘅垃圾，究竟又係由邊度嚟嘅呢？係咪全部都係嚟自人類蓄意丟棄到海洋入邊嘅呢 ？Judith 表示，垃圾要去到海洋入邊，其實比想象中容易。
80% of the plastic in the ocean originates on the land. So it's not just people littering on the beach, but it's also if someone's walking down a city street and the plastic bag gets away from them, it rains, that plastic goes into a storm sewer, and then it either goes to a sewage treatment plant or it gets through the sewage treatment plant and is directly discharged into a river, which then discharges into an ocean.
除此之外，有研究微型塑膠對海洋生態影響嘅西門菲山大學生物科學系博士生 Kieran Cos 提出，喺我哋日常生活習慣入邊，甚至去到洗衫，亦都不知不覺咁會排放好多微型塑膠到海洋入邊。
So many of the clothes that we wear have plastic in them, synthetics, and as a result, when we wash those clothes, pieces of plastic come out in the wash, and then they enter the water system, and depending on the capabilities of that water system, maybe they enter the ocean directly, maybe they're filtered out.
但係目前已經有咁多塑膠垃圾喺海洋入邊，又有啲咩方法解決現有嘅海洋垃圾污染呢 ？Kieran 指出，問題嘅根本在於過度生產同埋消費主義上邊。
So I think first and foremost, we need to make sure that we are turning off the tap of plastic entering the ocean. Production increases and your goal is to get plastic out of the ocean, then the most beneficial thing you can do immediately is attack the issue of overproduction. We started a consumer and convenience-based lifestyle, and with that has come this increase in plastic, but we're really at the start of that right now. And it's in the next coming decades, if we don't act, that we're going to see much more plastic in the marine environment.
減低使用即棄塑膠產品固然係一個有效嘅做法，不過如果將塑膠同埋其他垃圾妥善咁回收，又係咪一個可行嘅做法呢 ？Kieran 表示，成個回收系統存在好多掣肘，而實際上回收業界目前又面對乜嘢挑戰呢？喺卑詩省有飲品容器回收公司就表示，佢哋好難去跟得上目前公眾消耗容器速度嘅改變。
One of the big things right now is we're just seeing, with people staying at home, we're seeing more people drinking beverage containers, so sales are up like we haven't seen in a decade. And so we're trying to collect as many containers as possible, but it's honestly hard to keep up. It's a challenge to make sure that we're getting consumers to bring all those containers back.
所以西門菲山大學生物科學系博士生 Kieran Cos 就表示，如果唔減少海洋垃圾嘅源頭，任何清潔行動都係治標唔治本。大烽煙清理湖泊及海洋的藝術項目嘅兩位負責人 Amy 同埋 Henry 都明白呢個情況，所以為咗提升公眾對海洋垃圾污染嘅關注，佢哋就揾咗卑詩省嘅藝術家，以執拾翻嚟嘅垃圾為原料進行藝術創作。而喺今日，佢哋就舉辦咗一場垃圾移交活動，將垃圾嘅原料分派俾各位藝術家。
In a couple of minutes here, I'm going to get you to go and stand behind your bag, so that we on the inside of the room, we can see what's happening. And then everybody, if you can open up your bags at the same time.
而所有在場嘅藝術家事前都唔知道會攞到啲乜嘢垃圾材料。
Okay, ready, set, open.
打開袋之後，每位藝術家所得到嘅材料都各有不同，包括有打火機、魚脷同埋蛋殼等等。而服裝及木偶設計師 Liz Lincoln 就得到呢一個材料。
100 eyeglasses, which actually I absolutely adore. I adore. I'm very, very excited.
Liz 表示，呢一次將會係佢第一次使用太陽眼鏡去製作木偶，而佢隨後亦都再拎咗一啲由水底執返嚟嘅船槳作為補充材料。Liz 提到佢曾經都有利用過一啲廢物嚟創作扯線木偶，不過船槳同埋太陽眼鏡就係佢嘅第一次。收到材料嘅佢，隨即就已經諗到一啲創作靈感。
Let's say this is this could be fabric as a costume designer. I can change this, I can cut this, I can look at this shape and say, wow, what does this remind me of? I feel at my piece I really want to involve a legend, a story, and that it will spark imagination, and maybe I'll bring some sort of animal quality to it, or being or monster that comes out of the ocean.
Liz 當初知道呢一次計劃係同保護海洋環境有關嘅時候，佢就非常樂意去參與，因為佢表示大自然就係佢藝術創作嘅靈感來源。
We look to nature. We look to how trees move. We look to how it changes color and the shape, and it inspires me. When I'm feeling like stuck, I go take a walk outside. And it doesn't have to be a long walk. It doesn't have to be hours. If I just sit and with myself and just observe, I get a lot of feedback from nature, and that's why we need to protect it and take care of it.
雖然呢一次計劃對 Liz 嚟講係一個新嘗試，因此佢亦都感到有新鮮感同埋興奮。不過同時，佢亦都理解呢一個項目係源於海洋受到嚴重污染而產生，所以其實佢係百感交集。
Well, it angers me. I mean, it's unnecessary, number one. We all are intelligent people, and we all can be resourceful. And we need to just take time and say, look, I'm using something. I need to responsibly behave with my drink can or my plastic bag.
而呢一個項目亦都會安排各位藝術家同唔同嘅學校合作。除咗教育年輕一代保護環境嘅意識之外，更加可以將佢哋嘅諗法放到喺藝術作品之中。
I'm going to be working with IPS, which is directly a middle school, and we want to find out what the children feel. What do they contribute, and what do they want to say and participate in our artwork? Because their voices are really important to us, their thoughts, their feeling, as well as they're young activists. I see children on the beach cleaning up not just after themselves, but after humanity has dropped things in the water.
所以 Liz 希望今次能夠用藝術品說話，透過佢嘅創作，呼籲公眾注意目前海洋垃圾污染嘅情況。
Anytime you make a piece of art, you consider your audience. You consider what are you telling and how are people going to view it, as well as honoring myself in my creation process. So yes, I'm very excited. And yet, I know once I create it, it goes out in the world and I'm done with it. And I just hope people can respond to it and see something different. That's why you create art, is to say something and just make a conversation with people that you've never met in a different way.
藝術家咧將會有4個月嘅時間去創作佢哋嘅作品，並且會喺今年嘅4月舉行一個巡迴展覽。如果大家想欣賞呢一啲嘅海洋垃圾藝術可能咧就要俾啲耐性啦。雖然呢一啲嘅藝術品呢就要等到4月先至可以欣賞不過其實減少製造垃圾咧，大家可以由今日開始就做起㗎。好啦，呢一集嘅節目時間又差唔多啦。如果觀眾對我哋嘅節目有啲乜嘢意見嘅話，係好歡迎大家咧以電郵嘅方式同我哋聯絡㗎。如果想重溫翻今集嘅節目，亦都可以上到去我哋嘅網站點擊節目重溫一欄。再會。